DarkDyllon, both our runners starting off in the Sanctuary, finds just a big 20 to start things off with, so let's see where they're going to go first. And it looks like both our runners are going to be doing an early Houlihan room play. Given how Keysanity works these days, I honestly don't blame them. Money becomes a lot harder to pick up, so it's best to get the early cash when you can.
Honestly, yeah, especially in this, I've seen way too many races get ruined because they find early flippers, don't find the gloves, and have to farm money. Yeah, DarkDyllon did not do that right. So to do that, you have to. He never actually entered the fairy gate. So the way, basically, what they're doing there, if you don't actually know how Houlihan works, you've really just been pretending that you do in chat. Which, for most people, actually is true. They just see it happen, they're not really sure why. Basically what it is in the game, holes are very poorly programmed, and even the developers knew that. So an extremely rare thing is actually for programmers to put in, like, basically fixes for bugs that they know exist that they can't fix reasonably. So in this case, they did a contest in Nintendo Power to give that room a name, and Chris Houlihan is the man who won the Nintendo Power contest. So basically what happens there is if you offset your position in the game world compared to the hole's position, the game doesn't actually know where to put you. So it'll just default to the Houlihan room, which has the same exit as Link's house.
Pretty much. And one way to set that up is you can go straight in from coming off the left side, but it's very unlikely to happen. So the best thing to do is to go into that fairy cave to reset your position so that you can jump into the river a couple times. That will set up the bug. Meanwhile, we should note DarkDyllon did find a pod key from Uncle, and we have a compass over here on the library, so still looking for items early on.
I also like SuperNinTaylor doing... SuperNinTaylor's basically literally doing the strat I used for a while, which is Houlihan to Haunted Grove to get guaranteed bombs, and then you go and get bombs from the bombable hut if you don't find... or you purchase bombs from the bomb vendor. Depends on how frugal you're being with your money. Some people end up being extremely frugal. Others will spend this 50, although you will run into times where that 50 will bite you and you'll have to farm it up.
Yep. We found a pod map in the tavern and 300 rupees in the lumberjack, so we probably won't be seeing that play made here today, as DarkDyllon now heads into the Lost Woods, and SuperNinTaylor now checking out the chicken shack and finds a piece of heart.
Yeah, unfortunately, nothing much there. So far, other than the pod key, there's some money as well for DarkDyllon, so that's going to help him since he did fail the Houlihan.
Oh, and a scam by the bottle vendor. 1 rupee for the price of 100. That is a rip.
And a heart there.
Let's see what we find here in the well for Taylor. Finds a piece of heart to start things off. And let's see what we find here. Still, DarkDyllon still haven't found much. Oh, got another key here. Small key to Thieves Town. So that's actually helpful.
It doesn't. It only accesses a single chest. It doesn't. Really
the mirror.
Okay.
And the hammer.
Okay. Well, that small key and the hammer together does open up something. So.
Yeah. Of course, it still matters about finding the big key to Thieves Town to even get back to that point, but nonetheless, at least when they finally do get to that part of Thieves Town, they won't have to worry about that big chest later, which, trust me, folks, I've seen runs ruined by that big chest. All right, now SuperNinTaylor working on the back, or Book of Thieves Hut finds a heart container. Hey, we got our fighter sword early on. And Moon Pearl!
Hey, well, we're almost to Dark World.
And
and now I feel baited. Now I'm pretty sure that lamp is just going to lead us to Agenum, but that's just a pessimistic about Agenum. Actually, I'm not actually pessimistic. I think Agenum seeds are fine as long as they don't lead you on. As long as they give you everything you need to do it quickly, I don't really care. I think the Agenum climb is cool to watch when done well. So.
And to be fair, with the way Keysanity tends to run, even if you don't actually have to do Agate himself, there's a good chance you may have to go into the Agate Tower, given that there's those 2 chests in there are now part of the logic. So it's still good to have that lamp regardless. But yeah, indeed, I agree with Jack. Kakariko Village, a huge hype location here. It feels like an open mode race with how much items we found.
Five items already. That's with not really many keys to complement them. So I mean, they haven't actually opened up too much. The mirror, the lamp, does make me think that Hera early will have something. Or actually, no, that's actually just East Death Mountain too. So it's possible we'll have to take the long way to East Death Mountain.
That is true, but nonetheless, I mean, at the very least, I would say Escape is a good option right now because, you know, you got the sewer area opened up as well, so that might be something they may try out, especially since they had the fighter sword.
They do have to find the powered gloves or the flute to get to East Death Mountain, but I'm sure they'll find it somewhere in the south part. There are 8 items they can access with where SuperNinTaylor is going. And then on top of that, there are about 7 items, sorry, that are available in the Eastern Palace area.
All right. Ooh, we got our first big key here. Big key to Tower of Hera. Well,
yeah, okay, Tower of Hera has something so obvious.
You know it does now. I mean, come on, it's telling you to go there.
I called it without realizing that East Death Mountain has something, but that big key kind of changed it.
Commentator's blessing or commentator's curse? Take your pick there.
No, definitely a blessing. I mean, being able to complete Hera at the same time as East Death Mountain, that's a huge deal for the runners.
Absolutely. SuperNinTaylor now going to head over to the Mini Moldorm Cave, one of the normal hotspots for items here in these randomizer seeds, even in Keysanity. So let's see if that pays off.
Well, it's just the fact that it's the same as the cave, as the 2 caves in the village, and these, just with the amount of items, will create confirmation bias that you think that these places are so much better than, say, like an individual spot, because you think of all 5 spots as one, rather than thinking of each chest as, you know, an individual chest. It's nice to have them grouped up, but it's not like these chests are any more important than Ice Rod Cave.
Oh, silvers right at the gate.
That's nice. That's always nice to just get off your mind.
Indeed. Big key to Desert Palace, Path to Ganon's Tower,
big keys.
Ooh.
I don't have the maps yet. So one of the oddities, if you don't know Keysanity, and with this being early in the morning, we might be getting people who just watch speed gaming for speed gaming. They don't really care what's on. So with these 2 here, Hyrule Castle play this early.
Ooh. I think you're trying to explain the changes to Keysanity, and I think I can help you out with that here. Basically, how it works is that maps and compasses have been changed for Keysanity. Compasses will now tell you how many chests are in each dungeon, how many have you opened, and maps will tell you specifically which dungeons have pendants and which ones have crystals, because you will not know that here. Those are now randomized, not only randomized, but they will not tell you what they are. So you need those maps to get that information.
Even having the game audio won't give you a hint. They've randomized the pendant and crystal musics in the dungeon, so they'll play, even when you know the right dungeon, they'll still just play whatever track has been randomized to that dungeon for the seed. So even the music's randomized in this game. Now, if only they just would randomize more music into the game, that would be
interesting.
Get
more of the Super Bunny music. We don't hear that enough.
Unfortunately,
literacy.
Oh, wow! With the big key and the lamp, so that Lamolus is not only available but beatable right now. That's very early.
I would not be surprised.
That doesn't happen in open as often, because usually the big key or the small key that plots the big key is stuck on the torch. 33% chance of that. But now, very interesting game.
The only thing that's holding him back from that play, and this is the same thing that's holding him back from Tower of Hera, that is, at the very minimum, the Power Glove. Ooh, Master Sword!
Wow. This is an interesting scene. So now, something's got to be where Springman is.
Yeah, let's see. Small key to Ganon's tower. Oh, there it is!
Yeah, there it is. Okay, so now we have 2 dungeons theoretically open to our runners. Only one for DarkDyllon thinking with his. So if he were to get the Hyrule Castle key in its vanilla location here, that would actually be pretty interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if he walks there. SuperNin making the correct play. He's going to go straight to Death Mountain. He'll obviously eventually go back to... Oh, is he just going to go to Hyrule? Oh, that's going to pay off really well for him.
No, he's going down. I think he's going... Is he going straight to Desert? Or has... No, he hasn't done the South Shore play.
Actually...
Oh, he's going straight to Dark World.
Wow, interesting. I like it. Oh, you know what? He can actually do Hype Cave and then do a Hyrule Castle with the Pyramid check because he has the mirror.
Yeah, we've also confirmed on SuperNinTaylor's end that the green pendant is in Skull Woods.
Okay.
So that might change their routing a little bit here, but let's check out what I like to call the Prince Cave. Artist formerly known as Hype Cave, but you never know. I mean, given what we've seen so far, anything could happen here. We've got, starting off, we've got a map to Eastern Palace. Now we can tell if that's a crystal or not. And we have, oh, come on, open it up. There you go. Small key to Pod. Hey, always good to have those early. Small key to Misery Mire. That's useless. Map to Thieves Town. And a small key to Skull Woods.
Oh, okay. So, small key to Pod and some maps. Nothing really. For people who don't know, there are a lot of keys in Keysanity that are actually completely worthless outside of, for a viewer's purpose, having them displayed on the screen does help us know what's kind of in logic or where the game wants us to go. The keys to Skull Woods, Mire, and Ice Palace are all completely useless. The small keys in Ice can be avoided if you know bomb jumps. The Skull Woods keys are completely useless. Like, in fact, literally all of them are. You don't even need the big key to beat the dungeon. Nope. And Mire is also, you need 0 keys to beat it.
Speaking of Mire, Misery Mire and Turtle Rock are our 5-6 crystals.
Oh.
So both of them are required, not something that you wanted to see, as SuperNinTaylor picks up a heart container from Old Stumpy. Boom, we're going to get an early mirror cave check here from Nintaylor. Always nice to have that early and out of the way. Another heart container, but given that we're still pretty early on, getting some extra health, certainly not a bad idea.
Yeah, the big thing about having both those dungeons required is the fact that adds items, lots of items to the requirement. You can have a fluteless seed in Randomizer if Mire's a crystal, things like that.
Yeah, we're gonna need the flute. We're gonna need 1 or 2 medallions, Cane of Samaria, both rods. I mean, it's good. Yeah, you know, this is a heavy item seed here just based on those 2 dungeons alone. Also, thank you to Viranen for the $4.99 resub. Appreciate the support. SuperNinTaylor now working on the digging game. How many digs and what will he dig up? Oh, some code red. I'll take that.
SuperNin thinking, I mean, you have access to Death Mountain and with a hair bit key.
Oh, and on Lake Hylian, it's das Boot.
Oh, okay, that's good.
I get the feeling we might be picking that up at some point once we get those flippers.
Yeah, and with us knowing where 2 crystals, I mean, flippers might not be required for this seed. We know where 1 pendant is, but we don't know where the other 2 are. They could be Swamp and Ice in an unlikely scenario. And Boots, far less chance to being required in this. Ooh, zooming in, creating that bomb a little bit too early.
Yeah, a little bit of a slip up there, but he gets into the back end of escape. What will we find? Blue Bale, not bad. Piece of heart. And a heart container, so a lot of safety there in the back end.
So I'm pretty sure Dylan has, I can't remember where the hair bit key was. I'm pretty sure he's done South Shore.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure as well. But it looks like he's going to make the early play into Eastern Palace. I won't be able to full clear it, obviously, but he still can get 4 items out of it, so it's certainly not a bad play. And it looks like SuperNinTaylor may be making his play up to Death Mountain, or at the very least heading up to the Lumberjack area here. He does not have the map to Harris, so he doesn't know what's up there.
Okay, so Eastern is required, so no bow trolls to get into Denon's.
It's very rare that the bow is not required. I mean, with Pod and Eastern both being needing the bow at some capacity, it's always nice to know that you don't have to worry about it. But nonetheless, DarkDyllon finding 5 rupees there in the first chest in Eastern, while SuperNinTaylor pick up the old man on his way up to Death Mountain. All right, what's your escort fee this time, old man? A compass to desert. Well, that's kind of useless, but at least for these guys.
Yeah. No, the compass is really just a feature for, like,
ooh, tempered sword for DarkDyllon.
Oh, wow, okay. SuperNin did pass up on Eastern, so though getting that tempered is nice. It's not really required. They could find the other 3rd sword somewhere. I feel like I'm pretty sure SuperNinTaylor can do Master Sword. I mean, with Silver's Master Sword isn't too bad. It just requires a spin instead of a slash.
Yep. Ooh, magic cape in the Spectacle Rock Cave there. But truth be fair, since we know that Eastern's a crystal dungeon anyway, SuperNinTaylor is eventually going to pick that up. Oh, we got another pod small key in Eastern.
Oh yeah, I switched with that small key. I was about to say, unless there's nothing else here, he might end up here in go mode. Lots of people, I mean, with the mirror, less so. He'll be more inclined to come here and do this at the same time or just before pod. Oh, he set up the bomb jump. Yep, there we go.
Nicely done. He's going to make sure he can head straight back over there so he can go to go into the dark side and mirror over to either Hera or East Death Mountain. Either one is available to him at this point.
Swords of Being in Escape the Village and then finally Eastern. So 2 places that DarkDyllon has checked have both had swords, but nothing really else. It did have the Desert Big Key and the Blood, though. So DarkDyllon is definitely, routing-wise, on a better pathway, but SuperNin is going to finish his first dungeon quicker.
Indeed, and another small key to Ganon's Tower.
Yeah. So
if we find the big key early, that's going to be useless. I mean, if we have to dig into the basement of Ganon's Tower, that might be a little helpful, but not by much.
Yeah. So unfortunately for Dylan, that didn't open up to... Oh, is he going to go to Desert first?
Ooh, Ice Rod and Tower of Hera.
Oh, okay. Very interesting. DarkDyllon finally doing an excursion into Dark World. Won't find too much unless he goes to Pyramid and Catfish instead.
That's very true. And if you find something over there, that could give him another routing advantage, like you mentioned earlier. SuperNinTaylor now heading up the tower end of Tower of Hera. He's got 3 more items left to find up there, since he can't access the basement just yet. So he'll be able to get 2 chests here in this room, and then, of course, Moldorm himself. Hoping to find something good up here to get him back on track. Let's see what he finds. Oh, just 50 rupees. Not what he was hoping for. Time to set up another bomb jump.
This one's a little bit easier to set up. You can actually tell by the faces in the Light World dungeon panels if you're on the right spot. If you can completely see the mouth, quote-unquote, of the face, then you know you're on the right spot. I know SuperNin's been practicing for NMG, so I've noticed he's actually picking up items that you'd pick up in an NMG run, pick up pots, and maybe necessarily shouldn't be picking up.
Difficult to say. As he heads into Trolldorm, as we like to call him, DarkDyllon is indeed heading up to the pyramid and possibly to Catfish.
These are items we haven't seen yet on DarkDyllon's side.
Ooh, Moldorm's stalking him there.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a rough spot. Yeah, that's a good one. Did it. Moldorm's hitbox is wonky and weird unless you're used to it, but that was a really good fight.
That was really good. Only took one hit from him, never got knocked off. Ooh, flippers!
Yeah, there we go. So you can go get the boots once he has a chance. I don't know if he was the one. I'm pretty sure it was DarkDyllon who checked the boots.
I think Scott said that SuperNinTaylor had checked it as well. I didn't see it, but maybe he did.
So that's really good. They also have the money for Zora, so I wouldn't be surprised if SuperNin's maybe next play after East Death Mountain is to go grab those boots, as well as maybe check. They'll start in Dark World, go get the boots, and then do the rest of the water area.
Makes sense. All right, so we got a couple big plays here. DarkDyllon heading over to Catfish. SuperNinTaylor heading into... looks like he's first going to check the floating island. Ooh, small key up there.
Oh!
DarkDyllon taking a death right before Catfish. Not fun. And then Taylor going to take the walk of shame into the spiral cave. Get your resident sleepers in chat, folks.
Probably thinking, man, it is a huge waste of time to go get those boots right now, but this feels like a bigger waste of time.
Doesn't it?
But it's definitely, he's definitely making the correct decision right now, going here, cleaning up East Death Mountain first.
Absolutely. Let's see if he gets anything good for it. Boom, got a map to Swamp Palace. We don't know what that is yet, so that's good.
Well, with the hammer and the mirror and the flippers already, the seed seems to be trying to tell you where to go, and it definitely told you to go to Hera.
Yeah, you were saying that a while ago.
Yeah, like even before, I was like, something will be in the first part of Hera, and I was right, there was an ice rod, and then something's in the second part of Hera. So pretty good haul.
Yeah.
I think there was 300 rupees as well, because that would explain why SuperNin is so far ahead money-wise.
Nah, I don't know for sure there. I know I got a 50 up there. Big 20 and piece of heart there in the bottom end of the Paradox Cave, or as I like to call it, the New Hype Cave, because this place almost always pays out. Not just in terms of how many items are, but just the commonality of stuff being in here. I mean, I know there's no actual ratio of how often items appear in certain chests. It just feels more often than not you find something here. Fisher Price Shield, 50 rupees. Small key to Ice Palace. I'm gonna skim past these mini ones.
This area is does have a pretty high
ether.
Death Mountain. If I'm remembering, the overworld has a I think an overworld chest has like a 40% chance to have something. These numbers are rough and I can't remember exactly, but I want to say it's about 40-45%. Then Death Mountain chests have about like a 20 or 21% chance to have an item required. So it's like the next closest thing to an overworld location. But those numbers are rough, and I don't remember them exactly. It's been a while since I've looked at a stat sheet. So SuperNin, if he knows about the boots, he'll go there. Otherwise, he's gonna do Catfish, then Mirror, and do Zora.
Looks like that's exactly what he's doing here.
Actually, he can do both. Never mind, right? Because Dark World has the ladder, so he can actually go here, Mirror back, take the ladder over there. By yeah, he can have a very good route here if he wants.
It looks like he's doing that. He's gonna get his mirror and get those boots.
Oh. No, go. Oh, he actually.
Oh, he doesn't know. What are you doing?
He doesn't know the boots are there?
He's gonna warp over to the hobo. That's what he's doing. Oh, if only he knew. Once he swims back, he's gonna realize his error. Either that or he's gonna use mirror back once he finishes the hobo and then come back this way. Hopefully he does that. Nonetheless, he's gonna check the hobo here. Let's see what this lazy man has. Just a 5-arrow upgrade pack.
So if he goes north here, no, okay, weird routing. I would have done like gone the island item, gone to hobo, walked up that ladder, gone to Catfish. Yeah, so it's just like I would have hit Catfish as well. It's a long walk, but I don't like missing Catfish.
No, but he is gonna go over here and he gets DOS boots. What are those? And now he's going to swim straight off to the Waterfall of Wishing into Zora.
mean, there's nothing at Catfish, but... Or wait, we don't actually know because DarkDyllon never actually got there.
No, he died before he got to Catfish, so we don't know. Nonetheless, SuperNin now going to check here. Piece of Heart, and, ooh, Big Key. Oh, it's the Cannon's Tower, Big Key!
Okay, that's good to get out of the way. Obviously, it doesn't open up any logic, but it is one of the more required... Well, it's no more required...
It's the required item, if anything.
I mean, I'd say the bow is as equally, if not more, because you sometimes need it just to get to G2.
Oh, and we got the single arrow on the ledge there.
Shoutouts to the guy who, in the YouTube comments, is currently going through every VOD, finding the silver arrow or the single arrow and time stamping it. I don't know why he's doing that, but God bless you, sir.
The internet is full of some interesting people, Zeldas. I think we've learned that over the years.
SuperNinTaylor making single arrow man proud.
SuperNin, we love you, dude. That was beautiful. I'm sure the chat's loving that right now. Even Mally in the chat was like, I told you he has to get it. You just don't skip the single arrow. Thank you, Mally.
It was in the waterfall cave.
Yep. GT Big Key early in Waterfall of Wishing Cave. All right, let's see what SuperNinTaylor is going to do next. I think he's going to turn in his bottle to Sick Kid, it looks like.
Yeah, that made sense. Getting that out of the way is quite useful.
Never want to forget it again. Another spot I've seen people forget and regret it. Nope, just a piece of heart this time.
For me, it's more that I keep wanting to add it in, and that's I never get there. And...
Yeah, if you don't get it immediately, it's very difficult to route in unless you're going to do, like, the frog chest play. But otherwise, you're very rarely going to have a good chance to route that in. You kind of have to hope that you can get it in Kakariko Village so you can just route it immediately in. But now he's going to head over to the Dark World. Is he going to go up to Skull Woods, or is he going to make the play of Thieves Town?
Why is Dark doing Tower of Hera? Because it's crystal.
It's a crystal dungeon, yeah.
I don't know. I can't actually remember if we know that, but...
Yes, we do.
Oh, okay.
It's already marked on SuperNin's track.
Well, I know. I mean, like, if he knows that. I can't remember.
Ah, fair point.
Have a map. But either way, it's because it's a good place to finish.
You got everything for it. Might as well do it. And plus, you get the flippers for it. You can't really ignore those.
In this case, it's also very required. Now, why he hasn't done East or Desert with the biggest desert tell of all time, I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I mean,
like, he has
the only thing
ever.
The only thing I can assume is that maybe he's waiting to get Meyer access to see to try to knock them both out. I mean, it's
or the Desert Small T, but I mean, the Desert Small T and the boss area is basically completely different parts of like the game in Keysanity almost. They're just so far apart.
It's an odd play to say the least. I will agree.
It's just like with that sort of a tell that early, the game does like to lead you on. Now, also, it's technically out of logic because they don't have the Hyrule Castle key, and I think the book was in Zelda's chest, Zelda's cell chest.
That might be what they're considering, but
that would be way overthinking the logic, and Keysanity logic shouldn't be thought about anyway.
No. You just go where the items tell you to go, basically. Yeah. And we find a compass for Ice Palace here for SuperNin. Not quite what he was hoping for. But unfortunately, that's as much as he can do because he does not have a fire rod. We cannot go into the back end of Skull. So from here, it's off to the Village of Outcasts.
Oh, Jill was the sword. Well, never mind then.
Yeah, that's where they found the Master Sword was Zelda's treasure chest.
I thought it was, I got the chest mixed up. Book was in. Book and Key were in the first two then. Oh no, Key, I'm getting my items all mixed up.
It's all right. It happens to the best of us. Surprisingly, Super did not check Bumper Cave since he does have the cape. And there could potentially be something up there, but looks like
probably trying to route that in if he has boots. Never mind. Okay.
Yeah, he's got
He'll route that in after, because he hasn't done, because he's already done the south part of the world of Dark World, so he's probably just gonna do Thieves Town. He's just doing a loop around. If he goes straight down, yeah, he's looping around the city, and he'll go back up there.
Fair point. SuperNin also found an empty bottle in the chess game, and he also found B-Torp earlier in Skullwood. So that's 3 bottles for him right there. That could come in handy later if he wants to buy some potions as he finds a piece of heart there in the bombable hut.
Yeah, he's gonna loop around. He's gonna do Sea House, and then he'll probably go back up. Because it's faster to just save and quit and do something else once you're at those 3 chests in the graveyard.
And he's probably also going to do at least the first 4 chests here in Thieves Town. I mean, again, can't go too much further than that, but if you find something good in there, better to get it out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's our last sword upgrade. So when DarkDyllon heads into Thieves Town, he's going to have Butter Sword.
That's just for Nin, because technically the Eastern one is missable. There wasn't much in Eastern.
Actually, I would argue that the one in Zelda's treasure chest is more missable.
Well, I think if you're already got the book from the chest before it, I very much doubt you wouldn't just go to Zelda.
True.
Would there be a probably required item?
Yeah, and again, to be fair, I think having with Eastern being a crystal, odds are good you're gonna full clear that anyway because it's so easy. Ooh, the flute! And that's a perfect place to find it because you can immediately mirror over and activate it. So, ladies and gentlemen, please rise to the Link to the Past national anthem.
Now DarkDyllon is getting his boots right now, and he'll end up getting some more items from his flippers. The flippers are really good for this seed. And SuperNin will probably go to Mire? No. He's going to go up to the mirror area.
Indeed, but for SuperNinTaylor, the goose is loose!
Okay, good. He can actually get his then.
Now he's heading up to Bumper Cave.
Wow. Oh, Ice and Swap are actually pendants, but Flute was required anyway. So.
Yep.
For the GT Bit Key and Wolfen.
Wow. So we're only half an hour in. We now know where all the crystals and pendants are. That's actually really quick.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen races go an hour and a half before you finally know where all the items are or all the crystals are. So that's a really nice knowledge to have if once both our runners confirm both that.
Okay, so we are finally going to get our check here.
Yep, DarkDyllon now heading up to Catfish. And while it's a little out of the way, this is good routing-wise, since, as we said earlier, you can just mirror over and do the Zora check as well. Mm-hmm. So this will help him get at least one more extra item that SuperNinTaylor missed. Speaking of, he's going to be checking the Bonk Cave here. So we're going to get 2 items here back-to-back. And we find just a compass to Dark Palace here in the Bonk Cave. All right, Catfish, what you got for us? Justify Bomb Pack. And while SuperNinTaylor is going to get his GT Big Key here, SuperNinTaylor going to head over to check Graveyard Cave and King's Tomb, since we have the means to check all that. All right, what is intended to find? Just a big 20.
20. These 3 chests might be a dud, but we haven't seen King's Tomb yet.
And he's got to mirror back and go through this way since he does not have the Titan's mitts. Which is something a lot of runners, I think, can sometimes forget, that you can mirror over this way. But once you do that, very helpful. All right, what does our fabled king have for us this time? Titan's mitts!
Hey, cool. That's interesting.
So you needed the mirror to get the Titan's mitts because you couldn't get into this tube either way. What a find! This seat is just opened up wide.
DarkDyllon's does not have a portal to get that. He's gonna have to go a long way, but it looks like that might be where he's going.
You will definitely not regret that decision, but yeah.
So we don't have many keys, but man, do we have a lot of items. We need Turtle Rock keys, we need Swamp House small key, we need pod keys still, we need the Eastern key. With that flute, SuperNinTaylor will almost certainly be going to Mire Eastern, Mire Desert area. It would be a shock if he doesn't. And DarkDyllon Chicken's skull. Turns out that his not check-in will be the positive for him. And we're gonna have Nindo down here. Where's he gonna go from here? I'm confused. Oh, he hasn't actually checked the pyramid. This is an interesting routing. He has some interesting routing that he has to do here. Oh yeah, and they have ether. They didn't go in, but they wouldn't be able to do much without the cane thingy. And Mirren to go and check Castle Tower. With that one key, you can check both chests here, so very good routing coming out from Nin right now. He will maybe also do Hyrule Castle itself. Yeah, so yesterday, if anybody was here watching ALTTPR 2 yesterday, this is the shot that I meant when I was talking to Kirito for clearing out that room. Not everybody knows it. Very good way to do if you have Master Sword. And you're not comfortable doing the room, or like without, like if you have a bow, if you don't have some other weapon to clear out those guards. Oh, sorry, I misread GT and CT. You're correct. And with this, Nin is going to check the dark spot first, which made some sense. He has a mirror, so he can do that. He's going to find his book, and he's level 3 sword if he goes far enough. And we're doing our pet check, and you now know where the boss hides as a map, so it's not a useful pedestal. Oh no, that's the compass even. That's even more useless than the map. And right now, SuperNinTaylor is going to do the rest of Hyrule Castle with DarkDyllon cleaning up the rest of Swamp. Looks like he's going to leave. He doesn't have his flute yet because he hasn't done City, or he hasn't done Thieves Town itself yet. Without the bid key, it's less of a play. SuperNinTaylor. SuperNinTaylor is going down here, so we're not seeing new ground right now. But which compass? It's so unneeded, they don't even tell you which dungeon it's for. Good idea. His book right here. Once he kills this, well, I guess he doesn't actually kill the guard, but you know. And DarkDyllon's gonna get his Titans, it looks like. Well, randomizing dungeons in this game is actually very difficult. Like, actually randomizing the rooms. So just the way that Link to the Past is structured. We're a step closer with universal keys, honestly. If you don't know, the next Keysanity mode will have universal small keys. You can use a small key anywhere you want. Which is, it's I believe called Keysanity Classic, or something like that. Because it's you know, based off of the Zelda 1 based rules, basically. Small keys usable anywhere. I wonder if they'll add a skeleton key item to the game as well, which would be kind of neat. So that's always nice to find in finding the any key in Zelda 1 Randomizer is always a welcome find. Retro Keysanity, thank you. There's a lot of it's bounced around a lot of names. It used to be called Keysanity B for a while. So now he does actually pick up the 300. That's I wanted to ignore 300 money. Well, the runners can't see you. So for people who are maybe new to Randomizer, the runners are not allowed to watch each other's stream. They're not allowed to read this chat. They're not allowed to watch this stream. They are not even really allowed to even have their own chat. The only way is if they are basically assuming the risk if they have their own chat. And we're going to get the flute soon for DarkDyllon. One of the more convenient flute locations I've ever seen. No, they explicitly can't watch other streams. Although I've always been wanting to see like maybe some show matches of like good racers watching each other. See what that would look like. We're gonna have SuperNinTaylor finally doing Desert, which I think, which luckily, as far as we can tell, hasn't had anything. If Lamola says something, then shake fist at DarkDyllon for not taking the obvious hint. Might be the bow. That would be nice, or a convenient key.
Okay, I'm back in.
Luckily, with no money, no money on the line, it's a lot easier to trust everybody.
All right, so what have I missed so far? Anything good?
Nope, nothing really. They haven't really found anything new, item-wise.
Yeah, I see the biggest thing we found is DarkDyllon does have his butter sword now after completing Thief's Town.
Oh, also, I completely forgot, yeah, you're right. They do actually need the small cube for Lemos to be in the logic. And there's a small cube, probably two. Okay, Turlock. I was going to say pod, but Turlock works too.
But that gives him his second crystal here of the race.
I always forget that the logic takes, like, you making literally the stupidest choices you could possibly make into account. Oh, we're good. So I can't remember what Meyer was. It is actually Ether, so we can actually go in it right now if we wanted.
Yeah, but without Canis Amaria or the big key, wouldn't be able to do much.
I mean, you can check 6 chests. That's a lot of chests.
That is true. All right, DarkDyllon gonna pick up Jeremiah. SuperNinTaylor gonna check out the two chests here in the micro shack. Ooh, we got Big Key Ice Palace.
Ice Palace seems like it's being asked to go to, but without the hook shot, not much logically in there until we find a lot of keys.
That's very true.
Why does every boss explode? Because the SNES really liked explosions.
Ooh, got a big key in a checkerboard cave. What's this one to? Big key too.
Oh, that's just one little item. That's
one whole chest. Hey, that's the same thing with Ice Palace. Doesn't really open up much, but it gives you access to one chest.
And we're gonna check Adina. And what is our bullfrog friend here gonna give us?
Kind of Smiths we working with here this time. Oh.
Just the map to Hyrule Castle. Unfortunately, one of the it's no more useless.
Oh, the bow in Agnes Cave.
Okay, that's a location.
Yeah, big find for Super Nin.
I mean, I said that the bows. I made the guess the bow was on Lamolis earlier, so
you were close.
I'll take it. I'll take that as close enough. Yeah, that's sweet. And we have silvers too, so that's nice to have.
Oh yeah, it's gonna make some of those bosses later on, like Armos Knights, Helmasar King, and even Vitreous complete jokes.
Unfortunately, this is one of those awkward Keysanities where it seems like they just have a billion small locations to check.
Yeah, you get all the big locations out of the way. Now you got all of these tiny ones here, there, and everywhere that you gotta check.
Yeah.
And hope that one of them will lead you on the right path. Ooh, is Super Nin gonna... Yeah, he's setting up for a Spike Cave.
No, he's not.
Oh, never
well,
mind.
He might be later, but not right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have now suffered from a case of what I like to call foot-in-mouth disease.
He'll be at least checking this. He might go bad for it. He might also go to Dark World first. There's a 5-bomb upgrade.
Let's see what DarkDyllon here finds here at the purple chest. Just
he's gonna go to Dark World first. That's what I thought. It makes a little bit more sense. Come back here after.
Besides, this way you can also check Bombo's tablet.
Yeah. DarkDyllon's getting all those like one-off mirror locations out of the way, along with the Smiths, which actually has led to literally nothing. This entire lawn sequence of events has led to a small key to Stall Woods, so in completely useless series of events. But he's gonna get his bow right now.
Yep. And SuperNinTaylor are gonna find out what medallion is required for Turtle Rock. It is Ether. So Turtle Rock is
gonna open it up. So we
can't go into it because it doesn't have the Cane Samaria. But
yeah, we don't have Cane yet. And unless he really wants to go full TGH on us and hover it and ignore the fact that the Cane Samaria is probably somewhere in the game world.
With this, he's going to check the Super Bunny Cave. Can't go into Hookshot Cave yet. He'll only be able to get one item out of it right now, but... Unless he happens to find the Hookshot down here. Let's see what he finds. Got a small key to... Oh, Agate Tower key. And a Ganon's Tower key. So we got one key each to both of Aghanim locations.
Wait, was that Quake and not Ether?
What, for, oh.
Meyer. I'm very bad at telling them on a... Oh, okay, so it is Quake. Maybe I misread it on the overlay the entire time.
Perhaps, but nonetheless. So he's gonna check this one chest. Only gets a big 20.
Man. No.
What are you doing?
No, he could. I mean, if he's been practicing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
PSA.
He's gonna hover. Oh, couldn't quite get it.
PSA, everyone. If you're practicing hover, you should be practicing like everything else that the person that you're practicing hover because of is doing. That's my PSA. If you're practicing hover because of Andy, watch everything Andy does that isn't hovering and copy that first. That's just my PSA.
Oh, SuperNin, you're gonna waste time doing this, and just give it up, dude. He's got a lot of bravery here. Not so much about intelligence, but trying to pull this off and not getting it, not even getting close. But give him credit for his persistence. And he's finally accepted his fate. And he's gonna go ahead and check that floating island key and see what key it's for. All right, and it's a small key too. Desert Oh! Desert Palace small key.
Unless desert actually has something. You don't have Cane of Samaria, my friend. Looks like he's going to give the good old college try to the hover. Nope, he's remembered? Yeah, he's remembered. It's like,
yeah.
You need to do some really difficult hovering to make any progress in that dungeon. Like, short hovers are one thing, like hovering over, like, the tower. That's actually a really good time save. Learning small hovers is actually way more important than some of the big hovers, in, like, the fact that they are used over bomb jumps a lot of the time. Like, hovers and ice ballast are not actually that difficult to learn. Once you got hovering now, you can usually do those, like, 1 or 2 second hovers fairly easily.
Now SuperNinTaylor gonna run into Spike Cave. He's got a good amount of health. He's got the cape. I think he's got more than enough magic to pull this off. Let's see what he gets.
Small key to Dark Palace is nice.
Yeah, you want to get as many of those pod keys as you can, seeing as though you need at least
4
or 5 of them to get there.
They have the bow, so 4 is the minimum if they know the jump, and 5 if they don't know the jump and they take the long, convoluted way every time to get to the back. Now, with boots and the bow, it's actually pretty easy to get everything. And SuperNin is not Chet Uncle.
Wow.
Oh yes, because of the weird way that he got here. That's right, I remember now. And another small key to Dark Palace. I remember now.
Now with that Aga Tower key they got earlier, or no, actually no, that was DarkDyllon that got that, so he can't check that yet, can he? He's only gonna be able to check one chest here.
I thought you already checked this chest. Was that was DarkDyllon?
Huh?
No, he's already been in here.
Okay, then maybe he's got the key and he just shows it marked on the tracker. Yeah, it was.
Oh, okay. I don't remember that at all.
Okay, then. We're getting ourselves confused.
Don't worry,
here.
our tracker is also confused, so we're all okay.
We're all lost. There we go. Thank you, Mikan.
And the big key to Swamp Palace, which is not useful at all at this point in time.
No, only opens up one item at best.
Honestly, And then I think like Keysanity, I was hopeful at first for it. I enjoyed it the first few times I did it. When I was like, oh man, there's so much more to find. And then I realized how many dungeon items are completely useless. And I was like, wow, there's just a much higher percentage of bad items in the pool now. I'm having less fun than standard. Also, it made me a better player in general, though. I'm not gonna play. I think I got better playing Keysanity, but I vastly prefer the item shuffle only modes. Also, entrance shuffler.
SuperNinTaylor are now gonna head over and pay a visit to everyone's favorite little extortionist, Kiki the Monkey, as he makes his way over to the Palace of Darkness. Now, he's got 3 keys, and I think that's all we found so far. So he's kind of hoping on there being a vanilla small key, which, truth be told, Pod has the best chance of that happening.
That was a very mean, random enemy movement there. Mean-spirited from the game.
Yeah, he just got ambushed hard and cost him another 10 rupees there.
Oh, there's where the small castle. There's where the castle tower key was.
Yeah.
Okay. There is an entrance shuffler, but it only shuffles the entrances and exits, not the actual like rooms themselves in the dungeons. So like once you enter Desert Palace, you are in Desert Palace. Now, that was a very bad example because Desert Palace is actually in 2 pieces with 4 exits. So Eastern is what I meant to say.
Eastern is a better example, yeah, because there's only one way in, one way out. So once you find the entrance to Eastern, you're in Eastern, period.
Now, I say that, but actually there is a shuffler that decouples the entrances and exits so that when you enter a place, you leave to a completely different location than you even entered it. Don't do those ones first.
No. That's madness shuffle. You don't want to do that.
Yeah. What Dara Winder said is true. Recoding the layout of the dungeons would, like in a random fashion, would be extremely difficult. It's hard enough to randomize this game, to create random ROM hacks is like very difficult for this game because it's not like Zelda where it's just rooms coded into dungeons that you can just kind of freely shuffle around because the rooms aren't really tied to anything, they're just there. Very different structured game. Zelda is perfect for that though.
Yeah,
Man,
Zelda
is it perfect
1
for just piecing together new dungeons at random.
Zelda 1 is very popular for that. I would know. I actually commentated in a lot of the Zelda 1 tournament. I just did a race of that last night, and the shapes layouts can be a lot of fun trying to figure out what the dungeon layouts are going to be and where the items are going to be placed in that layout. It's amazing. So where do our runners decide to go next? SuperNinTaylor going to finish getting the items out of Eastern. Looks like Dylan's going to head over to Meyer area.
And DarkDyllon's going to take his Desert Palace small key and check those 2 chests. That's a pretty smart play.
Yeah, if he ends up finding the Quake Medallion, he can immediately just warp back over there and grab the, and go right into Meyer. So it's a gamble, but it's a pretty good one.
Well, all races are fun, per se. They are mathematically eliminated from the top 8, although one could say that most people in the tournament were mathematically eliminated at the start due to the high skill and the low amount of people who can make it to the round of 8. But as we've seen, there's actually some interesting names still in the run-in for that top 8. But yes, they are mathematically not able to go to the top 8, which is fine. They still want to see where they land in this group of 200 people, seeing where they end up placing.
Yeah, and it's not like there's anything on the line here. I mean, this is just for bragging rights at the best. But so this is just a way to test their skills and put on a good show for you guys. You know, it'd be a lot different if there was like a prize of any kind on the line, if there was like an actual physical trophy or more specifically money on the line, which there's not.
There's not even your name inside of the game this time.
Nope.
That's
Ooh,
not even a thing. That's a cool thing though that the devs do.
Yeah, unfortunately they only have the same name in there twice now after what happened in the fall tournament.
Well, they have the secondary tournament winner. They have the secondary tournament loser, or not loser, second place. They have.
Oh, there's the bacon coin.
Okay.
So it looks like Pod is the play, and DarkDyllon is about to learn that as he making his Pod play as we speak.
Wow, same time, but doing it completely different. The reasoning is because this is just a small tournament to fill time between the Link to the Past community tournament. Last time there was an entrant shuffler put on just by a few people in the community that got picked up by Speed Gaming. This time this was organized purely by Speed Gaming. Yeah, originally they didn't expect much more than 100, and then it just kind of ballooned.
Yeah, that kind of... well, the way this game's been growing in the community and helped especially by its performance at AGDQ this year, it's no surprise that this community has grown by leaps and bounds. All right, so SuperNinTaylor now going to check out the back end of Pod here. Still got 3 keys so far.
Yeah, I wonder if he'll avoid using one of his keys. If he has 2 right now. Yeah, he might be able to...
Maybe it depends on if he finds the big key or not. If he finds it in here, he might hammer Yump, try to get the rest of those items, or he might go straight to Helmasar.
And he needs a big key to, well, not to well, he doesn't need the one to Turtle Rock.
Yeah.
And the map Desert, useless, because we already know where everything is.
I already got everything out of that. Oh, and there's the big key to Eastern Palace. That actually could come into play because we are right there, so that would be an immediate warp over and complete.
Yeah, that's very convenient. I've seen it a few times where you've had to go to here to get a big key, or to get an Eastern Palace item, usually the big key, and then go to Eastern, find a pod small key.
Nice hammer Yump there, Superman. Very well done. Let's see what he finds here in the dark maze. We've got triple bombs. And on the other end, we find just 5 rupees. He's out of there.
Well, he does still have a small key. He could beat Helmasar if he wanted. Oh, wait, no, he doesn't have a big key. Nope, he can't do anything.
I was going to say, yeah, he kind of needs the big key. Chat saying this is Screaming Meyer. That may be true, but you still technically need the big key for Meyer, so not yet.
Okay, let's see what's in the big chest first.
At the rate we're going, we're bound to find something soon. We still have a lot of major items left to find.
Oh! Oh!
Big key to Meyer. Now Meyer's looking good. But we still are missing one particular item. We're still missing that big red cane.
DarkDyllon? timer's moving, but his game is not. Okay, good. I was really worried there because I've seen that particular item crash an emulator before, so.
Yeesh.
Keysanity is buddy on some emulators. Big Kitty's turn for DarkDyllon now, and he's on his realization of, oh, that was annoyingly convenient, actually.
All right, SuperNinTaylor now going to take on the Armos Knights. So with silver arrows, this is a joke. Like, it's not even laughable. Look at that. Wait, down really quick. Swagnet. And that's another crystal down. That makes the third crystal there for SuperNinTaylor. And DarkDyllon is right on his heels.
Huh. Good eye on Data Losset. This is one of those rare seeds where Hookshot is not required to get into GT.
And SuperNinTaylor gonna make the play into Misery Mire, it looks like.
I like it. 7 items you can get. That's people put off these quote-unquote hard and low-yield dungeons in Keysanity. I notice a lot. Swamp is a big offender for people.
Oh yeah.
But it's like in Swamp, like has 10 items in it, and it only takes like 8 minutes to clear optimally with Hookshot.
And given the
Hookshot, it's like 12 minutes. But
and given the way the launching's been playing out so far, I would not be surprised if we signed Vanilla Kane.
It's no more likely than any other vanilla launch. I guess there are some vanillas that are very rare in Keysanity. Sorry, in anything. Just do the layout. I know that a purely vanilla pod is possible. With every item in its vanilla location in pod, it's actually impossible to generate in the randomizer, because that would cause soft lock.
Yep.
Unless they fixed that, but I'm pretty sure they didn't.
Not for wait, version 28, I think.
It says small T can't be in the dark maze. Is I think the issue. And doing Mire now, and then Armos.
Again, silver arrows, though. DarkDyllon having a little tiny struggle there, getting a couple knocks there by those Armos Knights, but he takes them out, gets his swagnet, and gets his crystal. And all we find here in the big chest. Oh, hook shot! Big find for SuperNinTaylor finding the hook shot there. Again, not really required given the way the seats played out, but still nice to have. SuperNinTaylor now being very careful with his keys. If you know how to do this, you can go without using a single key if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, that hookshot helps out a lot. Also tells me that Swamp or Ice is going to have something or both.
Yeah, it's almost feeling like there's going to have to be a dip in one of those pendant dungeons, which just happens a lot. There's the big key to Thieves Town. Now that's opened up. That gives us, let's see, 1, 2, 3 more, 4 more items there. I'm doing my count correctly. And of course, because we do not have the fire rod, he's going to have to do the long strat here for these torch rooms. You know, it just dawned on me. You know what we haven't found yet, Zelnus?
What?
We haven't found a single fetch quest item. No mushroom, no powder, no shovel.
Interesting. That is, I mean, not unlikely. I've had quite a few seeds where I've either just not found them or found them so late it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Powder has a tendency to hide in GT because it's not behind other parts of the logic, behind the hammer or the mirror, and just kind of like in an awkward place logic-wise. That I notice it likes to get thrown in GT a lot. I'm sure that's just a weird confirmation bias, but
yeah, I've actually never seen that, or at least not very often. I've seen powder be pretty early on in most of my seeds.
I mean, I love my mushroom, or sorry, my powder.
Ooh, there's our other pod key. All right, so SuperNinTaylor now making his way up to Vidrius here.
You do not have the thing you need. Oh, he's hookshotted. What? Oh no, you can't go.
No, what are you doing? What? He just realized it. He was like, "Oh wait, I need the cane."
No, you don't need the magic. Oh yeah, he just wants the magic. Okay.
Had us worried there for a little bit there, SuperNin. Oh, and it looks like he's going to drop off his B, and he's going to pick up a couple blue potions. Not a bad call, actually. And having those safeties will really help out, especially when those lower bosses. I mean, he's getting ready to head to Thieves Town, most likely, given that we've got that opened up.
The Thieves Town makes a lot of sense. It is a crystal. It's got 4 items in the back. We can get all of them for once. Hoodshot opens up opens up Hoodshot Cave, but we'll want to avoid going back there until we can do Turtle Rock, means the Fire Rod and the Cane. Other than that, we have pretty much everything for Turtle Rock.
All right, so DarkDyllon now working his way through Misery Mire here, while SuperNinTaylor are going to be heading to the back end of Thieves Town. We're going to find out what we have. Ooh, a bit of a lag there.
Very common in that part of the dungeon. Lots of sprites. Plus the dust that you kick up when you run adds to the lag a bit. Still worth it to run. I've seen some people not run trying to avoid lag. Doesn't work that way. Ooh, gets the pixel. That's very good. And
ooh,
nothing got in the way
way
either. Even if you get the right pixel, sometimes things can just kind of move the right way.
Yeah. When he gets through, he's going to head upstairs now. Going to set up the blind bomb hole, and then he's going to find out what other chests we got up here.
That's not SNES 9X lag. That is 100% console lag as well. That room is awful on console.
And we got a Compass of Swamp, completely useless.
Like a console run, if you were to time out the lag in a thing that they've estimated that the amount of time lost to lag in Link to the Past is something like 15 minutes. Even if you like, that's including obviously taking like the game dipping from 60 to like 59, 58, 57. There's a lot of time lost in this game to lag.
The Super NES was powerful without question, but even it had its limits. All right, so SuperNinTaylor now got to getting past these Lionels here. Let's see what the... Ooh, there's our powder. Guess that's the end of your streak there, Zelnus. He is going to stop over and hit the big chest here. He's got the hammer. He's got the big key. What do we got? Big... Oh, it's the pod big key. So big play for SuperNinTaylor now. Pod is now open wide as he heads in for his fight with Blind.
It's sweet. Wait a second. We need the fire rod and the king. So that's very interesting. Ice Palace might be a good play just with what we have left after we finish Pod and Mire. He's done with loaded in this seed.
All right, so we got a heart container off a blind. We've got our next crystal there for SuperNinTaylor. Again, DarkDyllon slowly working his way behind him. Pod might be back in play now, though.
And DarkDyllon gets a switch shot. We still have a lot of locations that haven't been checked on either side. The big one, I think, is Hoodshot Cave. Now that I remember we don't have a fire source for ice.
Yeah, SuperNinTaylor hasn't done this yet, so he's going to pick up Jeremiah, do the Peg Cave, do the purple chest. Not going to find much here, unfortunately, but still better to get these out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to answer your question in chat, yes. While I don't speedrun this game myself, I have played Randomizer casually, as well as attempted to run a Keysanity, so I have a good understanding of what this is about. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing this commentary. Zelnus, I know you've actually raced this game before. I know you've been in tournaments in the past.
Yeah, I probably do a race a day. I mean, I've been sick.
Oh, hold that thought!
Oh, wow,
DarkDyllon,
okay.
someone call Phantom Ryu, because that's gotta be Kane!
And so with that, now that you can actually access the end of the dungeon.
Yeah, that is a big play there for DarkDyllon as SuperNinTaylor finds the map to Tower of Hera. That's completely useless, but DarkDyllon now has a chance to catch back up since he has something that SuperNinTaylor has not located yet and probably won't consider checking for a little while until he finds that fire rod. And what's worse is what happens if the fire rod is located somewhere in something like Turtle Rock.
So that makes going to Turtle Rock a lot more useful. And yeah, I think that's looks like where he's gonna go. Oh no. He's gonna go pod first. That makes sense too. Without the fire rod.
Taylor's the one who doesn't have the cane. DarkDyllon does. He's the one.
Right.
But he's going to finish up these down since that one's easier to get to and much easier to complete.
My bad. Yeah, it's in Swamp. I missed up the screens there.
It's all right. It happens. Plus, this is actually good for DarkDyllon because he'll be able to get his pod big key out of the big chest here. So that'll help him with his routing as well.
This bridge is not in... Oh yeah, no it is, with 3 keys. Right. You can get there with 3 keys. The boss that you are risking if you skip the big key chest. Yeah, you can actually make a clear path through. You can actually play this as if you're like, you can kind of do a faux go mode right now. Once for DarkDyllon, going to MM Turtle Rock, like you can just check all these spots that are on the way to Ganon's Tower, open for the fire rod and be in between here and TR. You can just go dungeon, dungeon, dungeon.
Yeah,
now, that's pretty risky. But at the same time, it's an actual calculated risk. You got so much already.
Indeed. Yeah, in terms of keys, we're pretty much near go mode key-wise. It's just down to items. We're still looking for the fire rod is the big one. Because they literally have every big key in the game at this point. And they've got the majority of the small keys that they need. So it's just a matter of finding that fire rod, and they're essentially in go mode. All right, DarkDyllon now taking on Blind himself, while SuperNinTaylor is heading down to the Helmasar King. So where do you think that fire rod's got to be, Zelnus?
It's probably on Death Mountain, either in Hookshot Cave or in Turtle Rock. I mean, just statistics-wise, we don't even have the Swamp Small Key yet. That would be the trolliest place, with Swamp Small Key being in Turtle Rock itself.
True. There is still one other possibility, though. There's still Ice Palace in play, too.
What does the red dot in the crystals mean? It means that there are 5-6 crystal, which means that they open up the Pyramid Fairy. DarkDyllon's gonna go hand in his powder.
And SuperNinTaylor now starting his fight with the Helmasar King. 17 whacks with a hammer and a few slashes with that butter sword, and it should be no problem for him whatsoever. And nice timing, hitting that last hit right as he was about to shoot a fireball, which cancels that attack, leaving him wide open for a very quick finish. And what does Helmasar drop? Just a heart container.
And just a map to Tower of Hera. Again, I think that just rushing the dungeons and then Hookshot Cave is too close and too obvious to pass up for the to check for the fire rod makes sense. Let's see where SuperNinTaylor goes. He needs to go to Skull. That's an awful spot for that king to be. Oh, no.
No, he's going up to Hookshot Cave.
Statistically, that's a great place to check. So
if he finds the fire rod up there, that will, considering he doesn't have a cane, that will encourage him to go to Skull Woods, where he'll get that cane. So this is actually a really good play.
Well, I don't know if it wouldn't. It's almost the only thing he has left to do.
It's going to encourage him to go to either Ice Palace or Skull Woods.
Yeah, it might send him down a rabbit hole, which would be a bit annoying for him. Bombos would be really weird for both these runners to find, because I could put Fire Rod in Ice, or could lead them down a deep rabbit hole.
Oh, and SuperNinTaylor getting dead rocked. This is why I call them the unofficial mascots of the Randomizer, because they are the biggest trolls in this entire game. Sometimes even trollier than Trolldorm, and I don't say that lightly.
Okay, so Nin going
into Hookshot Cave. Now, he's already checked one chest in here, but he hasn't had to check much else. Let's see what else he finds. We've got Big 20. Piece of heart. And what's our last chest? Another Big 20. It's a what? Debated. So where do we go? I mean, he's obviously got to go to Skull Woods to pick up that Cane of Samaria, but can't do Swamp. Can't really finish Skull. Can't do Ice Palace. There's got to be something on Vitreous. Either that or you're going to have to gamble Turtle Rock.
Yeah, with that... Yeah, the Turtle Rock gamble, I think, makes the most sense. Oh, yeah, Super Nin... Oh, is he going to check Vanilla Small Team?
Ooh, that's a gamble.
No, Small Team. Unfortunately, this isn't the version where that was like a 10% chance. Really, it wasn't just that chest that was 10%. Specifically, the chests in the back of Pod and that chest together were a 10% chance to have the Vanilla Small Team. It's a very weird statistic.
And DarkDyllon finishes off Vitreous, gets his crystal, but only got a 5-bomb up or 5-arrow upgrade. So yeah, I'd say the play is Turtle Rock.
Small T Skull Woods. Maybe that'll make him think, something might be there. That might jog his memory to go check. Ah, it is!
There it is. Happy he made that decision.
Yeah, he's gonna find the chain. It's gonna send him on a very, very good trip, because he's actually, progression-wise, I think a bit ahead of DarkDyllon right now, just completion of the sea. He's got Pod down already. I think he's had a bit of better running. His runs be very interesting. I'm actually learning a lot myself from it. Super Nin, I'm actually quite surprised he's X2 in this tournament. He did really well in the fall tournament, but this is Keysanity, and it's quite different. Yeah, that's what Small Key triggered his memory. And oh man, maybe it's here.
Yeah, he'll definitely be happy he made this call.
Logically, I think this chest requires like 1 or 2 keys, maybe. You can actually access it with none, but I don't know what the logic wants. You can access it very easily with one. There's a hole in that set of bushes above the entrance there. There's a hole that drops you down. You bomb a wall, pull a switch, you're at the big key chest.
All right, he's gonna immediately flute off. Probably go back and finish Misery Mire.
Yep. Gonna find nothing
after
there.
That, it's gotta be Turtle Rock.
Yeah, it's gonna be Turtle Rock, or well, Turtle Rock's locking it.
Well, so is gambling the first chest in Swamp. Like, no matter what, you're having to gamble something because everything else has pretty much been checked.
Okay, so we are really just treading on there. I'm actually surprised that DarkDyllon didn't go there now that I think about it. You can go to... I guess, yeah, I mean, you may as well do this, because if you find Fire Rod, you're done. So if it's here or if it's in Turtle Rock, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, this is...
These runners are basically in a quote-unquote go mode, just because of how few locations are left available to our runners. Ooh. Oh, DarkDyllon gets the dash there, the key dash. People don't know what key dashes are. It's the term whenever you, who's the runner with 2 wins at the moment? Oh, no, they're both 1-2. I guess that record, it can confuse some people. No, both these runners are 2-1. Or sorry, 1-2 in the tournament.
Yep. So basically, they are out of the tournament. They're not going to be able to advance to the Elite Eight, but they're still going to complete these last seeds to see what their standings are in the overall tournament.
Oh. So then just like 1 pixel off of running across that with the dash. Actually, all 6 keys are not needed to finish pod. And it is in this one because of where the bow is, but actually sometimes there can be small keys locked behind small key doors in this version of the logic, which the name for when that happens, it's called 1-1 logic. It's basically you're trading 1 door for 1 key. So you can't open a door, but all it's doing is lock in a key inside of it. That is a thing that can happen. It opened up the logic a lot, actually. Okay, so SuperNin is going to fly to GT. And I wouldn't be surprised if this seed's been generous enough. I wouldn't be surprised if Fire Rod's there. This could be a very quick seed if it's early enough in the dungeon.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, they're already in go mode unless they get like Swamp Palace small key, and then they get like another Ice Palace small key. Then it's like, well, now it can be in like 2 different dungeons, and that's the way that I would. Like, if they find Bombos and they find the Swamp small key here, then it's like, well, now we're out of this like kind of quasi go mode that they're in, because they're both on a very linear path to the end at the moment. They only have Turtle Rock to go, so they don't really have any variation. I think that SuperNin has a few one-off locations left in the world. He's been a lot less like thorough with his checks. Oh, well, yeah.
Oh.
So he did it right not killing that, because if you hit those guys while they're electrified, they will move you off the platform. So you usually just want a damage boost, but if you're on the platform as it's stopped on those switches, it does actually knock you down, which is very annoying, especially in NMG when you really don't want to get hit by those guys, because you really want your health for this dungeon because you're still in green mail. Oh, DarkDyllon making the play on Swamp Vanilla.
Oh, bit of a gamble here, but again, both these runners doing a gamble. I'd say SuperNinTaylor making the safer gamble since he's going to have more items available to him, whereas DarkDyllon's counting on 1 chest.
Yeah, you can't get those two keys. But he also skipped the spike. Wait, what? He is going fully to the end?
He's going all the way to Laser Bridge, it looks like, yeah.
Oh, I see what he's doing. He doesn't want to check that chest. That made sense because he has to use a small key to get there.
Yeah, it's a bit of a waste.
So if he uses that, he can't actually do the boss on this trip. So he's doing full gamble that it's on Laser Bridge.
It is a gamble, but to be fair, I think it's a good gamble. I think there's a good chance of this having something. Now, why he's not doing Mimic Cave, I don't quite understand.
Yeah, okay, that doesn't use a key. Okay, does he think he has Fire Rod? Does he? Yeah, okay. There you go.
It just dawned on him, like, oh crap, I'm forgetting something.
Oh no, he's going full. He's like, nope, you know what?
I'm already here, might as well just do it.
We're already here. We're already here. Let's this could be the gamble of the century.
If he gets that fire rod, it pays off. Oh, there's the compass to Eastern. Again, completely useless.
At this point, yeah.
No,
what
I'm gonna laugh.
So, because he hasn't actually left the dungeon yet, he can go to Laser Bridge. If it's not there, mirror out, check the chests he missed, come back. So, yeah. What Korek said is correct. Is now that he's there's a very good thought process in Randomizer. Don't ever, if you make a decision, never ever back out of it. Ever.
Yeah, don't second guess yourself.
Like, even if you make a mistake, and you're already realizing, I made a mistake, I shouldn't be doing this, you do it. You do it, my friend.
Alright, let's see if it pays off for him. He's counting on one item there.
That's
yes, Kane and Brian. Team Hell No complete.
Mushroom.
Oh, the mushroom!
Hey, that could lead to Fire Rod. Uh-oh. Burna might be better in your current... Oh, no, you can actually use the potion there. I wasn't sure if you could use a potion while basically falling.
Yeah, well, he was in that safety frame where you weren't technically falling yet. Now he's going to use a can of brine. There!
And there is go mode for us, and...
our runners are currently now in go mode time. So, SuperNinTaylor making the gamble, and it paid off.
Yeah, that's really... Wow. Well, I mean, that was an accidental gamble. So that is a really good go mode for both these runners. And that paid off. This scene's going to be really fast. This could be like sub 145.
Ooh, that'd be big. SuperNinTaylor now heading into Trinex. He's got blue mail, but he's also got both fire rods. He's got the both rods, and he's got butter sword, meaning he's gonna have no trouble taking out these heads.
Did they both forget?
What?
He also didn't check that first chest, the spike cave one, as far as I can tell. Unless I missed that. Chat's saying he also missed that chest.
Yeah. So, is it me? Does DarkDyllon have red mail? Yeah, he does. When did he get that?
It might have been in that... Okay, maybe that's what was in that chest then. I think we were all very focused on Laser Bridge.
I think so.
That was very important for SuperNin's tournament life, I'd say. Because if it was in that Fire Rod chest, he would have lost a lot of time. Or sorry, if he was in that Spike chest.
Yeah. But SuperNinTaylor now not only has got all his crystals, but he is in prime position to head straight to Ganon's tower. And since he's already got the GT big key, he can go straight up.
DarkDyllon almost forgot to steal the small key here. Now, if he checks the big key chest, we know that's bad. Because right now we know that there's no Turtle Rot small key in here. So if he uses this key by accident, which I did once in a Keysanity, and that's DarkDyllon.
Alright, what's he get first trouble?
Oh,
yeah.
So, Laser Bridge is in sequence, so Fire Rod is there. He can't actually beat the dungeon now. He will have to go search for the fourth key. Unless it's in the one chest we didn't see.
Yeah, unless it's in Mimic Cave.
Well, there's like 3 chests we didn't see. If there's a vanilla small key, or vanilla-ish, because it's in Mimic Cave, it's not vanilla. We're still fine? Ish? But that's...
Yeah, but let's be honest here. That was a critical moment. He might have been able to catch up if execution was in his favor, if he had gone the same path as NinTaylor, but with the amount of time he's going to have to take checking Mimic Cave and possibly going back to check that other chest, that alone is going to be enough time for NinTaylor to win this race.
Yeah, I mean, it could also, the Fire Rod, you could also go back to the beginning of the dungeon, check those 2 chests. Maybe there's a Fire Rod, maybe there's a small key there. But again, it's probably an Ice Palace, the last key. So that's an unfortunate way for this match to come to a conclusion. So with that, we have SuperNin now doing my favorite part of the run, which is seeing how the gauntlet cooperates. My least favorite room being the full ice room. This room right here is annoying, but this room, oh, he gets the good RNG here. Charge down.
Red Line will give him a little trouble, but he got through. Now this room here, when you've got that Stalfos that likes to dodge you, but he gets it pretty good. Well,
actually, the trick to that room is that there's a weird, this team's a little weird on sprites. Sprites aren't always attached to their hitbox, especially at the start of a room. So if you shoot your fire rod as soon as you enter that room, that skeleton will die, because his sprite is set, his damage box is in the middle of the room. It's very weird.
Pretty decent fight there with Lionel too.
Lionels are the guys outside GT.
Good point. Why do I keep doing Zazax? My bad. Nonetheless, they're horse-looking guys. What do you expect? I'm so used to seeing them look like that in other games.
I'm actually not sure if those Zazits are even in many other games. I mean, I think they're in Link Between Worlds, but I mean, that's obvious.
Yeah.
And charging through that room, and then we've got the torch room here. Top part of this, the first part of this dungeon is a lot more physical based than magic based, and the second half of this gauntlet is a bunch of rooms that require you to use magic to get through them efficiently.
Yeah, it's a good final dungeon to kind of really test your skills and your use of items, so it makes sense.
Yeah, there's a lot, and I mean, these dungeons are also accidentally made in a really good way for people who know the game really well.
All right, DarkDyllon now finds his fire up, but realizes he is out of keys.
Yeah. He's not. Yeah, those slashes. I mean, usually I do those just because I'm waiting, but man, this is gonna be a sub 150 seed for sure.
Yeah, we're definitely looking at a sub 2.
Yeah, DarkDyllon in his last key here. What? How did he get those hits? Okay. Very nice shoulder. Just kind of danced in the corner there. Felt bad that he's confused why we're here before 2 hours.
Yeah, but he gets triple bombs from the inevitable conclusion chest, as I've now called. I forget who started that, but I think that's the best way to call it from now on.
And now with item 2, just gotta get 6 orange balls into his face, and that's just one. That's a little awkward of a placement. This one should be a bit easier. There's a double, maybe. He was against
that was a pretty solid double, I think.
That should be a signal, and then a double, and then another double, so it should just be one more hit.
He's gonna try he's gonna swag net it.
Yeah, it was
he bum rushed it, dude. That was brilliant. And now it's time for the big pig. So if all goes well, yeah, we might be looking at sub 150.
And I mean, if he was really on point, he could get this as a 145. Not sub 145. No, it's only about like as a 145 XX. He can definitely do it.
Yeah.
Actually, no. If his menuing was better, he might be able to get this sub 145. I think because like the fight with the silverless tempered fight, the gold is like 154, and that's timed on the bird picking you up. I think this fight actually isn't very long. He might. Yeah, if his menuing was a little bit faster and he didn't sway on adding him. I think this was actually a sub 145 for him.
Be cutting it close. It literally at the rate he's going, we're looking at least.
I hate that. I hate that.
Oh, and to make things worse, he didn't get the torch glitch as a result, though. He doesn't need it per se.
No. Torch glitch.
Ooh. That was close. But I think he's going to get at least a 145 over 145.
Oh, the 145 was pretty easy for this. And he can set up the double here, yeah, like that. So that's actually why the torch glitch is nice not to have, because you can set up the double really easily. And that
we've got our bacon, ladies and gentlemen.
And that is a ridiculously fast seed, actually. That was a 145.29 on entering on our end. This
official SRL times 145.31.
Yeah, that's a really, really good time. And now we are on DarkDyllon's quest for the Turtle Rock small key. Hopefully we can get SuperNinTaylor in here. As our music switches over, as we watch the credits for SuperNin.
Finally find out what's on the pedestal there. Finds a piece of heart there in the Ice Palace. Still haven't found much yet.
We'll actually get a preview to see what was on the mushroom. That's good. Not even much. That could be the Turtle Rock small key. That'll be interesting to see it on SuperNin's stream before DarkDyllon's.
All right, let's see what's in the big chest here. Just 100 rupees. Still not finding much here. This might be a wild goose chase for him. And we have SuperNinTaylor joining us here in the channel. Congratulations on your win there.
Yeah.
Taylor, can you hear us?
You're muted coming in here, so I check your settings. One second.
I'll give him just a minute to get that set up here as Dylan now working his way through Ice Palace, trying to find that last item. He just needs one more Turtle Rock key. Is this it? No, it's the Swamp Palace key.
Oh, we're going to see the full logic of this seed on DarkDyllon's side.
It's looking that way. This could be bad.
Yeah, SuperNinTaylor's has some input and output was put in run. That didn't happen, especially when you're streaming. If you've got a bunch of virtual audio cables and stuff strung about, I've had it where sometimes I'll just open up a program and it just is not in the right place. So he's resetting for us. Alondra, great guess is Mothula. That's a pretty good guess.
I don't disagree with that thought. We'll find out as DarkDyllon now is getting ready to take on Cold Stare. We'll see if that pays off.
And gonna fight Cold Stare though. Are they able to change the character from Link to something else? If you go to vt.alttp.run and you generate a seed, click on the little cod at the top. You can actually set your Hyrule Castle key. That's wow. That
is completely useless.
I want you to have that fourth sword. That's you can go to that site, go on the cod, and there's like 50 plus sprites you can choose from.
And it was just a compass on the pedestal.
If you also know what you're doing, you can actually, I think, add custom sprites to seeds. Yeah, we knew it was a compass on the pedestal. We had to check.
Oh, did someone check it? I didn't. Yep. I might have missed that. Nonetheless, yeah. Though for the sake of the tournaments, you're only allowed to use the accepted sprites.
And there are a bunch of sprites either in development or look funny or are funny. Basically, they all have. The main thing is there's a lot of color limitations on the sprites because a lot of the game. This game is very colorful, obviously, as we can all see. It uses a wide variety of shades and colors.
Hello?
Hey, we can hear you.
Hey!
There we go. I figured out the problem. For some reason, one of my USB ports just wasn't working on my computer, so it just wasn't registering.
Gotta love when that happens.
Wow, what a seed, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
That was quite linear, though. If you're wondering why DarkDyllon was actually, like, literally right behind you, and if Rod was literally anywhere else other than in that chest, we all assume, that you did not intentionally go straight to Laser Bridge.
No, I gapped. Yeah. I was like, oh crap, wait, I'm not in go mode yet.
But to be fair,
by the time
go ahead.
By the time I realized I was missing the fire rod, I was already close to Laser Bridge. I was like, I'm just gonna go to Laser Bridge, better odds anyway.
Yeah,
and it was there.
Yeah. Turned out to work in your favor, since actually that's where it was. So that ended up being the critical moment that gave you the win, because DarkDyllon ended up checking that one chest in the lava room and used that key, which means now he has to go find one more key to Turtle Rock.
Oh, the big key chest.
And he kind of realized that after he used it, it looked like that he was like, oh, whoops.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
And DarkDyllon unfortunately got hit by a wall master, so he's going into the back end of Skull Woods.
It wasn't an Ice Palace, but he found the small key in Ice Palace to swap.
Yeah, I guess in situations like that, it's probably safest to just like go outside by the big chest and then like skip the big key chest, but go outside to like Mimic Cave area, big chest area, and then just use that as a way to mirror back if you don't find Fire Rod on Laser Bridge.
Yeah.
Instead of just opening that right away.
No, yeah, and Korik called it too. It's like he's way too. You were way too deep to go back.
Yeah.
There's a better chance anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, I had a few brain farts this run. I haven't been playing a lot of Link to the Past lately. Like I went to Turtle Rock without the cane. I tried advancing in Mire without the cane. I think I did other stuff that I wasn't able to do.
And just a fairy in a bottle off of Mothula, he gets his green pendant.
There's another place. So yeah, now we're going to see what the full logic of the seed is. We don't even have the 6th pod key, and just like to point that out. Oh no, you did. You found it somewhere.
Yes, where did I find that?
We don't know.
Maybe in Turtle Rock? I don't know.
It might have been Turtle Rock. Was it on Shrinex? Maybe? I think it might have been on Shrinex.
Yeah, well, we'll figure it out. But DarkDyllon now turning in his mushroom. We're going to see what that was, because you were asking about that earlier, Zelnus, and we missed that. And for that, we get just 50 rupees.
Yeah, I completely blamed. I was watching DarkDyllon and forgot to look over at the credits. Yeah, 143 with a 149 collection rate. It's like that's actually the collection rate and time I had on a seed earlier this week.
Nice.
Except the winner of that seed was a 117 with a collection rate of 130. Because I literally can't make the right choice. It's awful.
Yeah, it's tough. I remember it was going like that for me for almost all my races for a while. But today went my way in a few places. It's nice to catch the breaks once in a while.
So yeah, now we're going to see Swamp. It's probably in Swamp. Yeah, a lot of the glitches that we use in the randomizer are version 1.0 only. The item dashing is one of them. Fate Flipper is another. A bunch of very minor glitches got fixed. Oh, there's the shovel.
Oh, hashtag fetch quest again.
$2.15 would not be a bad time, considering he had to double dip what he had to double dip, and he's done. He's gonna finish every dungeon at this rate, so.
All right, let's see what he finds here in Swamp.
If you ever want to see when a race in a specific tournament is, you can always type in that tournament's quote-unquote code or whatever into the Twitch chat. So I think for Super Metroid, that is SM. There you go. You can do that in the channel, even when a race is not going on. If you are watching, let's say, Super Mario Brothers 1, and you're thinking, you know what, I actually want to know when the Mega Man 2 tournament is starting. You can type in, I assume, !MM2. Find that out. Which that's a tournament that's starting up soon, as well as Shantae, as well as Sunshine. It just started. Those are long ones. There's quite a few out there that are started, or are finishing up. There's the Link to the Past, No Major Glitches, which will start in late March. That's going to be a huge 128-person tournament.
Yep, and we got the Super Metroid tournament. We got Metroid Fusion coming up. Mario Sunshine just started recently. We mentioned Mega Man 2. Like, there's just so many tournaments going on. It's not even funny. Yeah. Check the events list. You can see what's coming, and it's just amazing what we've got going on.
And I assume that if you're here, you are a fan of the Super Nintendo console. Chances are, or at the very least, I mean, if you're to this game, then there's a bunch of rip-offs of this game on that console too. And you can watch those too. There is the SNES Superstars Marathon, which is a staple of speed gaming, and probably one of its more popular events. Oh, bye Super Nin. One of its more popular events, and that is going to be on the, like, I think it's supposed to be late March. There's an admin in chat. They can tell us if there's an actual date or if it's just kind of hanging in limbo. But it's going to happen. People were asking about that in different chats. Gonna happen. There it is. We have
There it is. The last key he's looking for.
He can finish up the game now. If you've never watched a Metroid Fusion run, it's actually quite good. Metroid Fusion, some people's favorite Metroid. I am a person who loves Metroidvanias, loves most Metroid games, cannot live without the ability to, like, grab onto cliffs. So Super Metroid is literally unplayable for me. Because I can't grab onto ledges and it confuses me. In fact, if you are also like me and Super Metroid goes way over your head because you do not understand its intricacies, but you also like randomizers, there's actually a Metroid Zero Mission randomizer that doesn't get nearly enough love. And that is very fun, and it's being worked on actively right now.
It is scary how many games have randomizers in them. Like, I was actually, when I heard about the Super Mario Brothers 3 randomizer, I was blown away that they could even do something like that. And it's a lot of fun to watch, actually. One of my buddies on my crew is actually doing some commentary for that as well. And just seeing how they were able to randomize all of the levels the way they do and all of the enemies and items is just amazing and fantastic. So, you know, definitely check out all of the different randomizer tournaments we got going on, plus all the other speed gaming tournaments. You will not be missed out. You will not miss out on anything good.
Yeah, oh, Super Mario Bros. 2 as well. I know Super Mario Land, it has a randomizer, or 2, or maybe that one might be in like deep beta right now. Might still be not nearly finished enough. How does one randomize a Mario game? Well, you change some of the enemies, not all of them, because sometimes the enemies are part of the level completion. You randomize pretty much most of the blocks, like what they do, what they give, and then you randomize the world and its levels. So, World 1-1 is now actually World 8-1.
Yep.
It actually can't be the actual World 8, but it could be the level that is 8-1 in... It could be level that is normally 8-1, but you're in World 4, which is your World 1-1. It's wicked. You should watch it. They're actually really cool. It takes a lot of improvisation, but it's probably one of the higher skill tap randomizers I've seen. It's very good, though.
Yeah, definitely don't miss out on that. Though I gotta get Nick Furl. Do we really want to even randomize those games? Do we really? Oh, and I think you struck a nerve with Rick there in the chat. All right, DarkDyllon now finally making his way to Trinex. Again, credit to these runners. The fact that even though it's as far behind as he is, he's still, willing to finish up this race. If it were me, I would have forfeited by now, but that's why I'm not racing. I'm just commentating.
Yeah, with this is not going to take him that long. And somebody made a prediction of 2:15. That looks pretty accurate right now, depending on his execution. The climb can take anywhere between 5 and 15 minutes, because sometimes you take those ones real slow, and climb to the end of the game. A really, really good runner with good equipment. Those ones do not take long at all. The GBA edition of this game is hated by most people, so nobody's really going to put the time into randomizing it. If, let's say, somebody were to want to randomize, say, Four Swords Adventure, then I guess the pass would probably be the same engine, same game, and would get randomized due to that. But
at the very least, I guarantee you, if anyone did adapt the randomizer for the GBA version, one of the first things they do is they would get rid of that stupid noise Lynx makes whenever he swings a sword. That'd be gone in 2 minutes.
Yeah. The Link's Awakening, also has a randomizer. It's actually primarily an entrance randomizer, but I mean, if you've ever played that game, you would know why. It's actually a very the world itself is very locked, so without it having an entrance randomizer portion would be a little weird. It would be very difficult, and probably wouldn't be very randomized.
Yeah. Thank you, Rick. Exactly my point. That's the first thing that would go if we were to add a randomizer to it.
No, the real noise that people don't, and I'm about to make a lot of people, is the noise the mirror makes, because they somehow made it weirder and louder.
Ouch.
The mirror noise is the true villain of that game. I hated it so much that I tried to mirror as little as possible in GBA when I played it as a kid, because I didn't like the sound it made. I also was a little kid, so I didn't 100% get that I could mirror everywhere, so... Just go listen to the GBA mirror sound. I did a decent impression.
And people say I'm loud.
Please don't report anything. I like my cat. Where are my cats anyway? I haven't seen them today. Okay, they're probably downstairs.
All right, DarkDyllon using that Bombos medallion he picked up to blaze through the gauntlet, and I just realized I made a pun without even trying.
Now, as done at the tower, he's just bombosing through it. I like his style.
Don't blame him. And now our chat is coming up with the most annoying sounds you can add to a game to make the absolute worst port of Link to the Past ever possible. You people have no soul, I swear.
I mean, it's actually not like other with the sounds not excluded. It's actually a better game. It's actually a better game. Got problems. Like other than that, like the actual dungeon design, they fixed some glaring problems with like Ice Palace. They fixed the bosses, like the bosses that require items now drop like ammo and health and mana and stuff. So like they fixed weird soft locks that people could get into. It made the game significantly more playable. It's just got so many bad parts about it. I don't blame anybody. I think there was also like an added, like a small bonus dungeon, maybe. There's a bonus thing. You can get some bonus stuff, but I think that was for beating 4 swords, which was the reason to own that cart. It's a fun game. 4 Swords Adventure is fun and underrated.
I actually played 4 Swords, the GBA 4 Swords game when they remastered it for the 3DS, which I thought was really well done. Because that way you can actually play single player and actually have fun with it.
Oh, the 4 Swords. I love that game. That's actually also a very fun game.
Yeah, and I own 4 Swords Adventures.
I don't think that's a remake, is it? That's just a sequel-ish thing.
No, it was a port of the GBA game. It's just they modified it so that you could actually play single player. You weren't required to link up with 4 other people.
Somebody should randomize that game.
Oh God. But
randomize 4 Swords.
Yeah, but I did also own 4 Swords Adventures for the GameCube, which is actually more of a sequel. Yeah, 4 Swords Anniversary Edition. That's the one I've played. You can tell we've run out of things to talk about.
Well, I mean, we're just going through here, and he's doing a fine job. I like the just getting through it with Bombos. That was fine. I mean, he had to get magic and do another room slow, but I mean, at this point, he's just getting through it here.
Lights all the enemies on fire. This is fine.
He's also going to open the last chest there. It is perfectly fine.
The inevitable conclusion. Also, as Adirondack Rick points out in the chat, we've got more races coming up here later today. In fact, let me go ahead and give you a quick rundown of the schedule while we're waiting here for the Saga 2 play.
Hey, I would wait on that. He is quite literally going last. We should commentate his actual fights and stuff. Give him the same treatment we gave Nin. Yeah, he gets the single. We'll get the double here. Almost gets the triple. The same thing as Nin. Oh, misses that, so that's gonna be a single. So he's gonna get 1 extra cycle. Unless very close. Hard to get. It's hard to get triple. Like triple, some runners make them look easy.
And he just barely got through there. He's running a little low on health there. He may have to heal up before he fights the pig. All right, time for Ganon now.
But yeah, with that, this is a pretty simple fight. Oh, he's gonna do the dash. Oh no, doesn't get it completely. If you can do this fast enough, you can just do it. Yeah, and then you can dodge it. Wow, he's actually got a really, really good dash strat there.
Oh, but he does have that fairy in a bottle.
Whew. And getting caught in the Bombo's fires. You have to be careful here. Does he have blue? He has a red. That's close enough. Never actually went to buy bottles. That's out the B. Tara would be proud. Although seriously, that actually does lay this fight out pretty hard. I guess it's not a golden B, so it won't be too bad, but...
Got some B-Torp straps. Gotta love it.
And there it is. Very clean fight. With that, he does finish going in on our screen at 2:12.04.
Actually, the SRL time here is 2:12.06.
Probably not connected via the IRC client.
That's what I'm here for. All right, and Dylan is going to join us here.
Okay. Yeah, DarkDyllon, honestly, that key, he was... Oh, hey, Dylan.
Hey guys, what's up?
Not too much. GG, my friend.
Yeah, GG. That turtle rock again.
I know, man. That had to hurt.
You were only like 30 seconds behind until you entered the bid key door, the door to the bid key chest.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you guys were extremely close. Nin made an error that paid off. He thought he had Fire Rod, got to the the room with the roller that you have to hit the red blue switch in to get the chest. Just before that room, he looked at his inventory and was like, "Don't have it," and just kept going because he was so close anyway. He may as well check it, mirror out, check the other chests, hope. Got the Fire Rod, obviously, so that paid off, and so he's slightly ahead of you there, but you guys basically entered Shoulder Rock within 30-40 seconds of each other. So if you didn't open that, this would have been a very, very close race.
Yeah, just what I was thinking was, what if that Fire Rod is on that bridge? If it was on that bridge, then, then great for me, but if it's not, then I can still check Laser Bridge.
Right. But with the small key being locked in swamp behind ice, like you had to full clear a whole dungeon, then do left side of swamp to finish the seed, which is not ideal. Also, very rude seed, logic-wise. Because that 4th key obviously required to beat it normally. But yeah, that was an unfortunate outcome there. But you played out well. I mean, 212, having to do everything you had to jump through. Not actually that bad.
Yeah, at least I knew, like, as soon as I saw bombos from that chest, at least I knew the fire rod was never going to be an ice pallet.
Mm-hmm.
Would still be a funny seed, though. Like, having to actually get bombos and not get fire rod into the rock, then have to actually get everything.
Yeah.
Will be the ultimate troll.
Now, we're actually all very good. So, you guys were originally scheduled for 3, I think? Yeah, 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
You guys just like, was that like, did somebody put in the wrong time zone or something? It was supposed to be right now.
No, and then actually, like, asked me this morning, like, can we race for, was it like 4 hours earlier? And then we can actually get on speed gaming.
Oh, okay. And then Feasel said yes, and then everybody was around. Oh, you guys are lucky that that's cool. Okay, we were all wondering that. that's awesome. That's always nice.
It was actually like he wasn't getting a response, and then like 5 minutes before the race started, he messaged me on Discord like, "Can you go now?"
Yeah, and we as commentators got a message 5 minutes before. Yeah, do I have a crew for 5 minutes from now? And us.
We're all like, we're like, okay.
Sure.
Still, fantastic job nonetheless. I mean, yeah, I mean, one critical error, but I mean, it's anyone would have made that error. I probably would have done that.
Yeah, it's like it happened to me. Like this is the second time it happened to me. Like my previous race, Ice Rod was on Laser Bridge again. Like this time it's Fire Rod, so I'm probably not gonna open that chest again, just for good measure.
But nonetheless, again, GG to you. And by God, if you guys are wanting more Keysanity today, I'm going to tell you right now, folks, we have an amazing schedule lined up. In fact, do not go anywhere, because here in about just over half an hour, we're going to have Killer App 23 versus Zaphod Beeblebrox right here on Speed Gaming 2. And then at 3, we've got Caladrius versus Lightyear on ALTTP Randomizer 1. At 4, we've got Ozapone versus He's Just a Boy on ALTTPR 2. 5 o'clock, we've got Kern versus Jay Coper on ALTTPR 3. And that's also a quad race with Rywek versus Azazaz. I think that's how it's pronounced. 6 o'clock, we've got Fat Homes 666 versus Fox Zero on ALTTPR 1. Liminality versus Brewers Fan JP on ALTTPR 2. Geselshaft versus Looney Cloud 87 at 8 o'clock on ALTTPR 3. And we also have a quad race with Lyra versus Walking Eye and Final Flame versus Freddy on ALTTPR 4. And that's all just today, folks.
So many races.
Yeah, no kidding. So make sure you guys give a follow to all of our channels: Speed Gaming 1 through 4, Random Mania 1 through 4, ALTTP Randomizer 1 through 4. And of course, make sure you also give a follow to our runners here, SuperNinTaylor and DarkDyllon. And actually, I just realized we also have another race starting up here on Speed Gaming in about half an hour. A quad race between Jet 082 and Arier, as well as Problems IRL versus Weighty Words over on Speed Gaming. So I want to make sure I mention that as well. Make sure you give also a follow to our tracker, Meekan's Box, Meekan, however you want to go by. And of course, myself and my co-commentator, Zelnus. Zelnus, always a pleasure working with you, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jay. It's a pleasure working with you too.
In the meantime, we want to thank you guys for joining us as always here. Hopefully you guys had some fun. On behalf of everybody here at the Speed Gaming family, my name is The Shades, and as I always like to say, rock on, guys!
And have a nice day, everyone.
See you guys later.